They say the most dangerous spirits don't come alone. They come quietly. They clean your house, and one morning, the mirror tells the truth. Until my maid appeared in the mirror, but wasn't standing behind me. The house on island was not supposed to breathe. Every midnight for 7 years, the wall released a sound like a slow exhale. Deep, tired, almost mournful. The security dog would whisper. The curtain was stirred even when the window were shut. And somewhere inside the house, a woman turned in her sleep, clenching at a dream she could never remember. That woman was Grace Macy. At 35 years, Grace was everything the city of Lagos admired and quietly envied. She was a senior corporate strategist for a multimillionaire oil consulting firm, a woman whose signature could shift millions, whose heel clicked like command across marble floor. Her face appeared on business panel, magazine cover, and top 50 powerful women in Africa list. She did not believe in spirit, which is why she never questioned Chidinma. Chidinma arrived on a Monday morning, the kind of Monday that slipped unnoticed into history. The agent who brought her spoke too quickly, eyes darting as though the walls were listening. She's quiet, hardworking, no family trouble, the man said, very respectful. Chidinma stood behind her, head bowed. She was neither tall nor short, neither beautiful nor plain. Her face had a kind of forgettable symmetry that slid past memory. But her eyes, Grace noticed, those were old, not tired, old, like a river that never watched too many bodies pass through heat. "What's your name?" Grace asked. "Chidinma, just a breath too long." "Hi, use only Chidinma ma." The agent laughed too loudly. "Village people, you know, no paperwork issue, I promise." Grace should have sent them away. Instead, she smiled. That night, as Chidinma stayed in the servants' quarters behind the main house, the security guard saw her walk past the floodlights without casting a shadow. He told no one. Within weeks, the house began to change. Not visibly, no new furnitures, no rearranged deco, but behaviorally. Doors stopped cracking. Dust no longer gathered in corner. The kitchen smelled of herbs Grace could not name. Meals tasted like memory, like childhood Sunday she had never spoken about loud. Chidinma woke before dawn and slept after midnight. She moved without sound. She never murmured, never sang, never complained. Sometimes Grace would return late from work and find the bath water already drawn, steam crawling upward as though anticipating her arrival. "How did you know I'll be home early?" she once asked. Chidinma smiled without showing teeth. "The house told me, ma." Grace laughed. "You are funny." Chidinma lowered her head. "No, ma." They were rules Chidinma followed without being told. She never entered Grace's bedroom between midnight and 4 a.m. She refused to clean the ancestral wooden marks hanging in the hallway. She never touched mirror after sunset. When Grace asked why, Chidinma always answered the same way. Some things are not meant to be disturbed when they are listening. That should have been the first warning. But Grace was busy. Deals, flight, deadlines. Her life was a long corridor of boardroom and hotel rooms. And when she come back home, she wanted silence, no question. And Chidinma gave her silence. The dream began in the second year. Grace would find herself standing barefoot in a forest older than language. The tree bent inward, their roots pulsing like veins. Somewhere ahead, a woman knelt beside a river, washing something red from her hand. "Come closer," the woman would said. But before Grace could move, she would wake up. Every time, Chidinma would be standing at the bedroom door, holding a glass of water. "You were calling," the maid would say. "I didn't ring. You called all the time." Grace never asked how Chidinma heard her through closed door. Everything changed the day Grace's mother visited. Grace's mother was a retired school teacher from Ibadan, deeply traditional, deeply spiritual, and deeply unimpressed by corporate titles. The moment she stepped into the house, she froze. "Who lives here with you?" she asked. "My maid." Her mother's eyes followed Chidinma across the room. Her lips tightened. "That one," she said slowly, "does not work with the living fully." Grace sighed. "Mama, please." That night, she sprinkled salt across the threshold. By morning, every grain had turned black. Her mother left before sunrise. "Fire does not argue with water," she said at the gate. "When it is time, run." It happened in the third year. She fell ill. Nothing dramatic, just a fever that refused to break. Trapped between walking and dreaming. At some point, she felt finger on her waist, counting her pulse. "Do you remember your father?" Chidinma asked softly. The question cut through the haze. "My father had long gone when I was 6. That was when the promise was sealed." "What promise?" Chidinma smiled sadly. "You will remember soon." Grace fainted. Immediately she woke up, the maid was gone from the room and fever had broken. In the 5th year, the neighbor's housemaid went missing. Then another. Rumor began to spread. Girls vanishing, leaving behind folded clothes and unanswered prayers. One night, she saw her maid washing clothes in the backyard at 2 a.m. Her hands in water, red under the moon. "What are you washing?" she asked. "Depth," her maid replied. The next morning, the water was clean. The power outage happened on a Sunday. Candle lights as she searched for flashlight. A loose floorboard in the hallway shifted beneath her floor. Curiosity won. She opened. Under the polished floor lay a shallow, hollow filled with cowries, red thread, feather, and a clay bowl with symbols she recognized only from her childhood nightmare. Before she could scream, Chidinma's voice spoke from behind her. "You were not meant to see that yet." She turned slowly. For the first time in 7 years, Chidinma was not smiling. "I am not here to harm you," she said. "Not yet." She backed away. "What are you?" Chidinma tied her head. The candle went out. In the darkness, something moved. Not footstep, not breathing, but a shifting of presence, like a large body adjusting itself inside a small skin. When the light returned, she stood alone, head bowed. "You should sleep, ma," she said gently. "Tomorrow is important." Morning came too quietly. No bed, no traffic, no breathing wall. Grace stood in her bathroom, brushing her teeth when she noticed something wrong with the mirror. Her reflection blinked. She did not. Then slowly another figure appeared behind her in the glass. Her maid. But when she turned, the room was empty. She faced the mirror again. Chidinma's reflection smiled. "Wide, ancient, and inhuman." "You finally see," the reflection said. The bathroom door locked itself, and somewhere under the house, something began to wake up. They say there are three kinds of awakening. The first comes with birth. The second comes with truth. The third comes when something ancient decides it is tired of waiting. She experienced the third. The bathroom door did not yield to force. She slammed her shoulder against it until her pain shut down her arm. But the wood did not even tremble. The mirror still held Chidema's reflection, though the real room behind her was empty. Worse, the reflection was breathing. Slowly, patiently, "You locked it," she whispered. "No," the reflection replied calmly. "The house did." She turned off the tap. The water continued running. She said, "You would harm me." Chidema's reflection tight its head. Harm is a woman due. What is coming is complexion. The mirror clouded and scenes began to form inside it. Images that did not belong to the present. A young girl, a village she did not remember, a night filled with chanting and fire. She screamed. The mirror cracked. The memory did not arrive gently. It swallowed her whole. She was no longer in Lagos, but standing barefoot on earth, watching a younger version of her father kneel before a shrine carved in the roots of a massive iroko tree. He was crying. The man she remembered as strong and unbreakable. The woman stood beside him, not Chidema, something older. Her skin like oil on water, her eyes glowing faintly blue. "I will give you success," the spirit said. "My daughter," her father snubbed. "No," the spirit replied, "you're lying." The ground trembled as carols spilled. Grace felt herself scream from within the memory. Her bathroom door opened on its own. She staggered into the hallways, shaking, soaked in sweat. The house was strong now, wall pulsing, shadow stretching where light should fall. Chidema stood by the ancestral mark. This house was built on a path, she said, a feeding ground between worlds. She reached up and touched her face and peeled it away. What stood under was tall, elegant, its limbed, bending, and impossible angel. Its eyes were endless pool of night, and its mouth held too many things. "I am a custodian," it said, "a collector, a reminder." She collapsed. "You were protected." Chidema continued. "Your father made sure of that, but protection do not cancel payment, it delays it." Image flooded the room. Missing maid, lost girls, women who vanished without trace. They were offerings, she whispered. "They were substitute," Chidema corrected. "But substitute decay." The house groaned. From under the floor came the sound of movement, heavy, dragging, awaking. "The real depth," Chidema said softly, "was always you." The gate burst open. Her mother stormed in, chanting, her wrapper soaked in protective oil, a burning torch in her hand. "I warn you," she shouted. "I told you to run." Chidema turned slowly. "Teacher," it said, "you are late." Fire roared around the hallway, symbol igniting on the wall. The house screamed. For the first time, Chidema recoiled. "Grace," her mother grabbed her. "Bound to this thing, only choice can break it." "Choice? What choice?" Her mother's eyes filled with tears. "Sacrifice." The floor split open. What rose from under was not a monster, but a shrine made of bones, with stolen years and broken promises. "This is where your father sealed the path," Chidema said. "Your success, your comfort, your protection, it felt displaced." The spirit stepped closer. "You may replace him or you may destroy everything he built." The house unsettled. Outside, Lagos went silent. For the first time in her life, she did not calculate outcome. She stepped forward. "If I destroy it," she said, "what happens to me?" Chidema regarded her carefully. You will lose everything you gain from the path: wealth, status, safety, and if I replace him, you will never go." She laughed bitterly. "Then I was never leaving." She picked up her mother's torch and threw it into the shrine. Fire does not negotiate. The shrine hallowed as flame tore through bones and memory. Chidinma screamed, not in pain but in fury. "You break the balance." "No," she replied, "I restored it." The house collapsed inward as ancestral voice rose in approval and rage. The wall cracked, releasing years of trapped breath. Chidinma's form dissolved, unraveling into smoke and shadow. "This end your lane," it whispered. She stood firm, then let it end. The house on Island Hill burned to ash. She survived, but everything changed. Her account froze, her contract dissolved, her name faded from headlines. She moved back to Ibadan with her mother, living simple, teaching business ethics to young women. At night, she slept peacefully for the first time. No breathing wall, no watching mirror. Years later, children talked about stories of a woman who broke a house that hurt people. Elders nodded knowingly, for in African law, it is said, "What you inherit without understanding will one day demand payments with interest." And some debts, no matter how long delayed, always remember the way home.